Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Damian Jackson, and for those of you who might not know me, I am the Polemarch of the Philadelphia Alumni chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. We're here today to celebrate our brothers and our Achievement Awards. Now, those of you who might not know, last year being 2020, we were not able to come together and give our awards as we normally would. So that being the case, this year, we will be honoring not only our 2020 awardees, but our full slate of 2021 awardees. So the program will go like this. First, we will have speeches and introductions to our 2020 top awardees, Brother Alonzo Kittrels and Brother Devin Allen. We were going to follow that up immediately with our John N. Williams Award for 2021, Brother Aaron Hudson of the Delta Eta chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi. After that, we're going to award our Humanitarian Award, and that is going to the Black Doctors COVID Consortium for all of the hard work that they did. And based on all of our supporters, brothers, friends, and everyone else across the country who helped us raise a record amount of money through popcorn sales, and yes, please keep ordering and eating your popcorn, we're going to award the Black Doctors COVID Consortium a $5,000 honorarium in support of all the hard work that they've done, because they truly need it. Next, our Alvin Greer Award will be going to our brother Troy Smith, and the Jout Greer Spirit Award will be going to our brother Stephen Mitnal. Now, these two brothers have worked tirelessly throughout this year, even in the midst of all the pandemic, all of the Zooms, all of the masking and everything else. These brothers have worked tirelessly, putting on the mask, washing their hands, and getting down to the business that we truly, truly have to do. Lastly, our Achievement Awards will be going to our brother Luimbe Domingos and brother Anthony Lawson for their tireless work throughout the last year. We would like you to sit back, relax, enjoy the show, and hopefully you will comment in the Facebook and hopefully give us some suggestions for next year, when hopefully we can all get together, enjoy this program, and be no longer virtual, but be live and in person. I want to thank you for your time and for your continued support.
Traditionally, the Achievement Award is presented to a brother in recognition of his outstanding service to the chapter. It's the chapter's way to say thank you for your service. The award also acknowledges personal qualities of the brother, a few of which are humility, commitment, and fidelity to the chapter. Lonnie is a close friend of mine. Our friendship dates back to 1955 at West Philadelphia High School, when our Spanish class some 66 years ago, Lonnie delights in telling the story of how he carried Ronald Sullivan, Dennis Johnson, the older brother of our deceased brother Marvin Johnston, and myself. The three of us were key members of the cross-country team. It soon became clear that Lonnie was a bright, serious student. Sitting together, I must admit, without going into details, that Lonnie was very helpful to our success. Lonnie has achieved professionally. He's the past superintendent of the Newark and Willingboro school districts. He currently authors the Back in the Day column, which appears in the Sunday Tribune, a must-read in particular for seniors. It's a feel-good column, which covers many topics. Kappa. Lonnie also mentions Kappa often in a loving way. In 2016, Dow Stevens appointed Lonnie as chairman of the Sunshine Committee. Under Lonnie's leadership, the committee, which is for all practical purposes a committee of one, has raised the level of his service. Lonnie personally calls all the brothers who come to his attention as having health challenges. He keeps the chapter informed through his many emails, keeping aware of how the brother is progressing Also, he mentions often the loss of the brother's family members. Many of us have been told and learned that it's the manner in which you do something is just important in what you do. Brother Catrell's cheerful giving of his time and talents through the Sunshine Committee has resulted that when his name is mentioned, the response often is, Lonnie is a good brother. Let me repeat that. Alonzo Kittrels is a good brother.
Good afternoon to those who are receiving awards this afternoon, and good afternoon to all of my brothers and also all of my friends. Let me thank Robert Ridley for the introduction. Robert Ridley and I go back many, many years, back to Salzburger Junior High School. Back then, he was known to me as Robert Ridley. When we ended up at West Philadelphia High School, he became Rob Roy. And Robert Ridley is special because he attended Salzburger Junior High School, unlike a lot of his friends and my friends who lived in the neighborhood, whose parents used addresses of relatives and other friends to avoid going to Salzburger so that they could attend Sayre Junior High School. But at West Philadelphia High School, I established great relationships with individuals who eventually became members of Kappa Alpha Psi. Robert Ridley mentioned some of these gentlemen. People like Dennis Sullivan, who was in my homeroom, Ronald Sullivan, Judge Ronald Merriweather, Lawrence Stallworth, and many others. I am here to accept this Achievement Award because of Darrell Stevens. As Polemarch, he asked me to serve as the chairperson of the Health and Welfare Committee, which I accepted. And also I'm here because of Darrell. I'm also here because of Doug Harrell and also Damian Jackson, who asked me to continue in this capacity once they became Polemarchs. But I'm here as a member of Kappa Alpha Psi mainly because of two men that I met when I was a student at Delaware State College, now Delaware State University. Those individuals being Irv Weasel Heath and Lamont Owens, both of whom are Kappas today. I can still remember the evening when they came to me and I was in my dorm room and they asked if I had prepared my letter for consideration for admittance as into the Scholar Club. I told them no because I had no interest in fraternity life. Well, they sat down and talked with me for an hour or more to share with me the benefits of being a member of Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity. I eventually agreed, but it was late, and I told them that I had no letter to submit, and Lamont said, here's my letter, use it as a draft. And I want to emphasize that he told me to use it as a draft, but I copied his letter verbatim. We were both eventually asked into a room by our big brothers at the time, and they asked if we had written our letters, and we both said yes. And that was my first introduction to what Eddie Davis, who was a big brother at that time, to discipline and respect. And that was instilled in us through an instrument that I won't name at this point, but if you remember those days, you can use your own imagination. I eventually became a scholar, and as a result of things that were done to instill within us discipline and respect, I had to go out to a high school to make my paddles. I mention this because Kappa Alpha Psi not only enabled me to meet great men and establish great relationships and friendships, it enabled me to meet someone who eventually became my wife, because as a scholar, going out to Henry High School, I saw this young lady that interests me that I decided to pursue, not recognizing that I was a sophomore in college and she was but a freshman. Yes, I know some of you are probably counting on your fingers, but it took me many, many years. So some 70 years later, we eventually got together and eventually married and have been together for more than 50 years. Serving as the chair of the Health and Welfare Committee is something that I take personally. It's something that I have internalized. I recognize the importance of having brothers to reach out to other brothers who have medical challenges. I think it has a lot to do with the personal experience I had some 5 or 6 years ago when I attended a revival at Canaan Baptist Church, and my pastor, who is also a brother, the Reverend Marshall Mitchell, was conducting the program that particular evening, and I ended up suffering with a stroke. I found myself on the floor, and sitting behind me, thank God, was a young lady who's also being recognized in this program, who's also my cousin, Dr. Ayla Stanford. And she got an aspirin in me. I was rushed to Einstein Hospital. She went with me and was in the emergency room giving orders and giving instructions. And I was given a drug, TPA, which I understand is the clot buster, and in 15 minutes, the inability to have movement on one side of my body, the look of my face, which my wife said was deformed, was reversed all in about 15 minutes. I recognize that the importance then, not only because of that situation, but other experiences I have had, the importance that people who have medical difficulties should be in touch with others. So therefore, I have made it a point to keep our brothers informed whenever I am notified of brothers who are having medical difficulties. I always check with the brother or his family to make sure it's okay to let brothers know of their circumstances, and I encourage them to reach out to make sure that these brothers have someone that is concerned of them. I've been doing this for a number of years, enjoyed doing it, and as some of you know, reluctantly accepted recognition for this award. I think that if you do something because you want to do it, and because you feel it's something that you should do, that there's no reason to be recognized for it. Still, I thank my brothers. I thank those who are part of the Achievement Committee for giving me this recognition. It is important to know that what you do is appreciated. So as long as I serve in this capacity, I'm committed to providing information to the extent possible. I would also like to take this opportunity to encourage all of you to reach out for brothers when I send out notices indicating that they are having medical difficulties, to reach out to them, to touch them, to give them some love and give them some consideration. I again thank the committee. I thank my brothers. I thank my family for their support in making it possible for me to do what some people feel is a commendable job in chairing the Health and Welfare Committee. Thank you.
Good afternoon. The Philadelphia Alumni chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated has been blessed with a long list of outstanding achievers. From wearers of Kappa's most coveted international award, the Laurel Wreath, Reverend Leon H. Sullivan and Hillary H. Holloway, Sr., to the first recipient of the Elder Watson Diggs National Award, John N. Williams, and 5 others who have received this prestigious award. Civil rights icons Cecil B. Moore, mayors W. Wilson Good Sr. and John F. Street, heads of industry Willie Johnson from PRWT and Michael Rashid, AmeriHealth, and so many more. Achievement is a part of this chapter's DNA, and so to be considered for its highest award is a true honor. That is why I am so excited today to present the newest inductee into this fraternal Hall of Fame. He has distinguished himself as a leader outside of Kappa, as one of the top public relations gurus in the region, having led outreach for such notable companies as Universal Companies, AmeriHealth Caritas, the African American Chamber of Commerce, LaSalle University Nonprofit Center, and Beach Creative Communications, to name just a few. He has distinguished himself inside of Kappa. Since his initiation into the Philadelphia Alumni chapter in 2004, he has been one of the key contributors, chairing several committees, including our annual Holiday Cabaret. He also led the first and inaugural Spring Affair in 2018 and has held significant roles in our 95th anniversary celebration, our Black and White Ball, and the planning of the recent and most successful 84th Grand Chapter meeting. One of his most notable achievements that has happened recently was his leadership of the recent Kappa Kernel Challenge through Double Good Popcorn. It was the most successful fundraiser in the history of our beloved chapter. While we are impressed with his accomplishments, we are not surprised. He exemplifies our motto, achievement in every field of human endeavor. Some would say that his outstanding credentials and resume describe who he is. I would say they are just and merely words on paper. To truly know him is to know the 3 things that he holds most dear: faith, family, and friends. When you add fraternity to this list, you have a man who is destined for success. My brothers and guests, please join me in welcoming the 111th recipient of the Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Philadelphia Alumni Achievement Award, Devin Maurice Allen.
Good afternoon. Giving honor to the Creator from whom all blessings flow. I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to Polemarch 47 and 48, Darrell Stevens and Doug Harrell, for believing in me and recognizing my talents and giving me the honor of being the 111th Philadelphia Achievement Awardee. It's truly humbling. I accept this award on behalf of 2 great Kappa men who reached the golden shores, brothers Marvin Chop Johnson and Charlie the Green Man Green. It is on their shoulders I stand before you and accept the award. These 2 fine brothers, along with my mentor, sponsor, and confidant, Richard Snow, along with DP, and you know who you are, shared the meaning of Kappa and what it meant to be a real Kappa man. I am forever grateful. My journey to Kappa has been fulfilling. It started in elementary school with a physical education teacher, then an English teacher in middle school, and then an older cousin who shared with me the character of a man, and more importantly, the character of a Kappa man. When I arrived on the campus of the University of Pittsburgh, I befriended 2 individuals, Ryan Smith and TJ Lucas. While in the dorms, we would walk through the towers as freshmen, and we noticed the fraternities checking us out, and we were eyeing them as well. Ryan in his bossy way said, "Yo, we are pledging Kappas, no questions asked." And TJ quipped, "It's Kappa or nothing." Everyone who knew me at Pitt referred to me as Blackie because I was Mr. Millicent, always ready to join the fray of some injustice against black people, so pledging was far from my mind. However, to oblige Ryan and TJ, I said okay. When I arrived on campus, I knew I wanted to be a Kappa, but I never let on. Unfortunately, fate would have it, it was not in the cards for me to become a member of Kappa Alpha Psi while an undergraduate. Fast forward to Canaan Baptist Church, where I served as a trustee, I watched Richard Snow and Charlie Green observe me from afar, and once again, they were sizing me up. I was checking them out as well to see if Kappa were still in God's plans. After a period of time, Charlie Green and Richard Snow approached, like Ryan and TJ both said, "You are going to be on the next line," or as Charlie said, whatever they call it. Since becoming a Kappa, my life has been enriched immensely. I've reconnected with some brothers I've known for years and have made some lasting relationships with others. I've served with fortitude on various committees and, more importantly, built a lifetime bond with brothers near and far. The great Muhammad Ali once said, "Service to others is the rent you pay for your room here on earth," and is reminiscent of my maternal grandparents' teaching, who not only stressed doing what is right by your fellow man, but servitude. I was instructed at an early age the importance of service, God first, the church, community, and mankind. So to receive an Achievement Award for doing what is right is truly humbling. To my family, friends, spiritual family, thank you for your continued love, support, and more importantly, your financial support. Without you, I would not have been given this award today. Polemarch, Stevens, and Harold, thank you for recognizing my talents. To Richard Snow, there are no words. I have mad love for you. To DP, thank you for making me good. I am indebted. To my brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi, Fraternity Incorporated, Philadelphia Alumni Chapter, thank you, thank you, thank you for always being supportive and going the extra mile. You have been a blessing more ways than you can imagine. To the Achievement Awards Committee, you are to be applauded for doing a fine job of hosting this ceremony in a virtual space. Congratulations. To the brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi and our guest, I close with, it is truly a great day to be a Kappa. Be well and God bless.
Hello, brothers. I'm Aaron Hudson, a graduating senior at Drexel University studying business administration and legal studies and a spring 2019 initiate of the Delta Eta chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. And this upcoming fall, I will be attending law school at Villanova University. I would like to say it is an absolute honor to receive the John M. Williams Award. And first and foremost, I would like to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for this outstanding opportunity and for the ability to be here today. And thank you to the Philadelphia Alumni Chapter, to all the brothers here before me, and my family and friends. Thank you. God bless.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen and brothers. I'd like to thank God for making all things possible. I'd like to thank Brother Lou Williams, Brother John Chapman, Brother Martin Henry, and Brother David H. Mills for introducing me to the bond. The work we do in the community is vital. Whether it's community cleanups, feeding the food insecure, inspiring those to go out and vote in an election that was paramount for our community, whether it was providing testing in a testing desert, whether it's providing students a safe space to have a graduation and prom, all these things are important. I like to thank my committee, my SANs, who've always been around and available when I called them. I like to thank the brothers from 2020, who also were very available to come and help in all of our community efforts. Brothers, there is much that can be accomplished when you take college men of culture, patriotism, and honor, united in the bonds of fraternity, who look to achieve in every field of human endeavor and are inspired to serve in the public interest. We may not always be able to tell people how to view us, but what we can do is affect how we view each other. I like to thank State Representative Brother Stephen Kinsey, Brother Robert Hunter, Brother Clarence Izzard, Brothers L. Douglas Harold, and lastly, Brother Polemarch, Damon S. Jackson, Esquire, for always providing wise counsel. Finally, I'd like to thank Silhouette Vaughn for taking the time out to speak to me about Al Vaughn, to tell me what type of man and type of brother he was. It was truly inspiring. Brothers, thank you for this award. It is greatly appreciated, and I'm very humble. In the words of the 112th Elder Watson Diggs Award winner, Richard L. Snow, and with his permission, it is a great day to be a Kappa. Again, thank you. Yo.
I want to first begin by thanking Polemarch Damian Jackson, Esquire, and the Achievement Awards Committee for giving me the Joseph Greer Spirit Award. And congratulations to the 2021 awardees. It's truly an honor to be acknowledged alongside each of you. When I think back on my Kappa journey, it's quite humbling to think that the Philadelphia chapter is awarding me for my outstanding fraternal spirit. Growing up, I had some significant men in my life introduce me to Kappa. Men like my father, Patrick Mitnal, Gamma Nu, 1981, my uncle, Lyndon Mitnal, Gamma Mu, 1985, and my great uncle, Henry Jackson, Gamma Chi, 1955. So needless to say, I was interested in the fraternity, but after going to the University of South Carolina, home of the Zeta Epsilon chapter, I longed to be a member of Kappa Alpha Psi. It hit differently seeing the respect the ZE Newts commanded on the yard and the bond that they shared among each other. Many people join fraternities for superfluous reasons. The girls, the status, the parties, the girls. Not me though. No, the spirit of fraternity is what I truly yearn for. And that spirit of fraternity was on full display when another person of significance to my upbringing, Freddie Grace, Zeta Epsilon, 1980, passed away. Many of you all know I'm passionate about music. My band, The Smooth Show, has played at a number of our chapter events, and past Polemarch Doug Harrell even bestowed upon me the 2018 NPHC Award for my commitment to the arts. Well, Brother Grace was instrumental in stoking my passion for music as my middle school and high school music instructor back home in Columbia, South Carolina. Well, his LBs and brothers from his generation came down for the funeral back in 2009. We had the closed ceremony for just the brothers. I was only a year or so into the fraternity at that point. I can't really say I really knew the brothers that well, but even though we had that unfamiliarity with each other, there was still a closeness, a genuine closeness as we mourned together. I'll never forget how the brothers just put their arms around me and we consoled each other. And that was the moment I realized how impactful the spirit of fraternity is. That was the impetus for the zeal and fervor for Kappa that you see in me today. That was the inspiration for looking for an alumni chapter to engage and build a rapport with, especially being hundreds of miles away from home. That was the incentive for gladly accepting any work that Kappa requested of me. Like when past Polemarch Bruce Rush made me Kappa Week chairman my very first year as a dues paying member. He put me to work immediately, y'all. And for some odd reason, it's like these responsibilities grow exponentially. The more work you do for Kappa, the more work Kappa requires of you. I don't get it. But when you accept these duties with a spirit of fraternity, they don't feel like a burden. You get happiness out of each and every moment. So thank you to the prestigious Philly Noops for recognizing my joy.
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi, My name is Lee Pham. I am an initiate of the Delta Eta chapter. It is a privilege to be back once again in the Philadelphia Alumni chapter's house, and the only thing that would make it better is if I were able to be here with all of you in person. It is an even greater privilege to present the Achievement Award to my brother, our brother, Luimbe Domingos. There is no brother more deserving of this award at this time than Lou. I have known Lou longer than almost all of you. We grew up together in Harrisburg, Lou being a few years more senior than I am. Lou has watched me grow as a boy into a man, from a student to a professional, and as a brother in Kappa Alpha Psi. I am not the only brother who Lou has helped to shape. Lou has guided and built so many Kappa men, and by extension their communities, through his efforts that are always selfless, thoughtful, and right-minded. And that is why it brings me such pride and pleasure to know that this esteemed chapter has chosen Luimbe as the winner of the Achievement Award in 2021. I like to think about Kappa Alpha Psi as a loom that weaves together strong threads, threads that on their own will stand the test of time, but together form a tapestry that is unmatched. Luimbe is one of the strongest strands in Kappa Alpha Psi, one of the strongest strands in Kappa Alpha Psi. True manliness, fidelity, in our hymn, that is about so many brothers over time. It's especially true of Luimbe. He is one of the most solid and selfless brothers I have ever known. And I guarantee you that in his acceptance speech, he will name countless people to whom he is grateful for this achievement. And rightly so. It takes a village. It takes a clan. At the same time, I know that he will not talk about anything that he's done on his own, because that's not who he is. Lou is all about investing in others, bringing others along for the ride, building our fraternity, and by extension, again, our communities, and making us better as individuals and as a people at large. And so this is just a joyous day for me. I'm thrilled to be here in Philadelphia again, and I'm thrilled to say Luimbe's name in combination with the Philadelphia Alumni Chapter and the Achievement Award. Thank you.
I'm humbled to accept the Achievement Award from the Philadelphia Alumni Chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, led by Polemarch, Damian S. Jackson, Esquire. Thank you to the Achievement Award Committee Chairman, Brother Ernest Brown, who was also my undergraduate advisor. In thinking about this award and my journey in Kappa from being an initiate of the Delta Eta chapter in fall 1998, I think about brothers like Brother Brown, who was my advisor, and also Brother Brian Schaefer, a past Polemarch of this chapter, who was also my advisor, and the lessons they taught us. Brother Brown teaching us how to be deliberate and intentional brothers and how we moved, and Brother Schaefer teaching us about songs and about what it means to be a Kappa in the social and the mentorship position. I think about brothers that also selected me for membership. Brothers like Terrence Smith, Eric Mayo, Derek Barnes, Fungai Katika Pungu, Jonathan Carroll, Robert Black, and Jason Smith. These brothers, good Delta Eta brothers, were the most active on campus. When we were there at Penn and Drexel, where I attended college, they were not only the most social, but they also were most active presidents of campuses, campus organizations, and we followed suit. The brothers that we ended up making ourselves were also presidents when they were initiated into our chapter. Brothers like Yaron Ship, Lee Pham, Nathan Pringle, David Robinson, Bashir Hassan, Jamel McWilliams, and G. Martin. When you think about what that means, is that when we graduate, we have discussions now, I'm speaking to general counsels of Fortune 500 companies, people who are captains of industry, Emmy Award nominated choreographers, top level executive recruiters, and all types of industry leaders. Back then, it was just brothers hanging out, going to meetings, going to parties, socializing on campus. But then you realize essentially it's steel sharpening steel. As you grow old and you see more and more brothers being made behind you, you kind of realize that not much changes. Younger brothers are still focused on achievement, like the John and Williams Award winner this year, Brother Aaron Hudson from Delta Eta chapter. This brother is getting a full scholarship to go to Villanova, and better than the brothers who went to law school from my era, he actually got a full scholarship to go to law school. That's a very impressive feat for a young man. I also want to thank my Sands. These brothers were brothers that I mostly did not know too closely or very well. One brother I didn't even like at the time. The light of Kappa Alpha Psi in that situation is that it took me to become a more humble person, to understand that there was more value in love and acceptance of these men as my brothers than there was in petty disagreements or simply just walking by a human being on the street. So I'd like to say thank you to Jason McGee, Jamar Deloney, Storm Staten, Andre Harper, and Stephen Thornton. I look up to these brothers, even though we came in at the same time. They mean a lot to me, and I've never traded that experience for anything. I also want to thank the brothers responsible for my reclamation process. I would not be here achieving this award if brothers had not sought me out and challenged me to get active and help with our digital media concerns with Philadelphia alumni. So with that, I'd like to thank past Polemarchs, Bruce Rush, Bobby Hunter, Daryl Stevens, L. Douglas Harrell, and of course, current Polemarch again, Damian S. Jackson. These brothers afforded me the opportunity to lead even before I was financial again, pushed me to do more and more activities, and also supported me when I brought my own endeavors to the chapter for support, like my support for Covenant House children's shelters right down the street here in Germantown. In speaking about what Kappa means to me, or what Kappa means to many of us, we talk about how achievement is our goal. But really, what Kappa really shows you is the journey of achievement. When you start out and you take that first step, the first thing you do in Kappa is you volunteer. You volunteer, you swear an oath to volunteer to achieve. So the first thing you have to do is actually make an intention real. You set a goal. Then the next thing you do is you fail early and you fail often. Not just fail early and fail often. You set tests and landmarks for yourself so you can understand how you're developing and how you're standing up to that goal and to that task. And then as you learn, the other thing about Kappa and achievement is that once it's done by a good brother in Kappa Alpha Psi, you don't have to do it by yourself. You can count on other brothers to help. There's younger brothers here who are undergraduates who just today, we're giving them information about all the brothers they can call that have done what they've done beforehand, who can tell them about the pitfalls and everything about being a black young man in America who's seeking to be successful and be a good man in his community, in his family, and of course, his fraternity. The last thing about it is we do what we're doing today. We honor and we celebrate achievement. It's important that we, as black people in America, but also as people of African descent in diaspora, learn to record, note, discuss, and pass down and teach our stories. We see it with police brutality. We see it with Black history. We see it even within our own organizations. When we don't tell our story, when we don't note these achievements and the things that we've actually done, it makes it easier for people to take credit for what we have. It makes it easier for people to take our value. It makes it easier for people to say that we don't deserve treatment as human beings. I'm not saying it fixes the problems. I'm saying it makes our argument easier when we're out in the world and we're dealing with those who would strike out against us or sabotage us. So part of this achievement is actually noting that we've achieved something. So in this, I'm happy to be here today, even though it's a pandemic, even though I'm speaking to you virtually. The important thing is that we have this down on the record. I'm very humbled again to receive this award. It's always a good day to be a Kappa. It's a great day to be a member of the prestigious Philadelphia Alumni, and Delta Eta, none greater. Thank you so much.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is L. Douglas Howard, Jr., and I am the 48th immediate past Polemarch of the Philadelphia Alumni chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi. And this evening, or this afternoon, I will be presenting the next Achievement Award recipient, Brother Anthony H. Lawson. Brother Lawson was born and raised in the Grays Ferry section of South Philadelphia. He has been married for 34 years to his silhouette Marlene, and they have two daughters, Tiffany and Melanie. They raised them in Swedesboro, New Jersey. He is blessed with 3 grandchildren, 1 girl and 2 boys. Brother Lawson is a graduate of Delaware State University with a degree in accounting and was first introduced to Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated in 1976, when then the Beta Sigma chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi was the chapter on campus. After college, he began his work career as a leader of people for over 37 years with titles ranging from supervisor, manager, to senior director, leading teams of employees in sizes ranging from approximately 400 to 500 individuals. The biggest highlight of his work career was winning the Inspirational Leadership Award while working at Quest Diagnostics. A total of 1,200 leaders were nominated for the award from an employee pool of 40,000. He was one of only 5 winners for the award. His primary role at both Conrail and Quest Diagnostics Incorporated was Director of Revenue Services. What he has most been proud of over his 40-year career was forcing himself into the employee recruitment process, while at Conrail and being responsible for recruiting Black accountants into the internal audit department from various HBCUs. He is also very proud of the fact that he has and still mentors a large number of Black individuals in career achievement and leadership skills. He attributes a large part of his work of achievement to the fact that he has always had good mentors in his life, and his goal is to continue to pay forward that skill which was shared with him throughout his career. He has held the treasurer position at his church and the Delaware State University Alumni Association. After accepting a promotion to manage $1.1 billion in revenue and to lead a team of approximately 500 employees, he relocated to Atlanta, Georgia in 2017 and retired from the work in June of 2020. He has been a proud member of the Bond and Philadelphia Alumni chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated since 2011. And he has maintained the position of Assistant Keeper of Exchequer since his arrival. He is also a Grand Chapter and a Northeastern Province Life member. He has served several years also on the College Tour Committee within our chapter. He has considered himself a tireless worker and an overachiever who continuously tries to improve himself and serve those that count on his work and output from his position. I present to you our next Achievement Award recipient, Brother Anthony H. Lawson.
First, I would like to thank Brother Doug Harrell for helping me in the assistant exchequer position. When I came into the bond, he worked with me, taught me the different things that I needed to understand in my position, and guided me through the whole 10 years that I've been in this job, and it has been very helpful. So through that, brother, I truly, truly appreciate you and all the efforts you did to invest in me and help me be the person that I am today in this position and help me win this award. My name is Anthony Lawson, and I am a 2011 initiate of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated at the Philadelphia Alumni Chapter. It is truly a great honor to receive the chapter's Achievement Award. I looked at the plaque downstairs, and I saw the first recipient was Brother Hillary H. Holloway Jr. in 1955, which was before I was born. And there are 112 names that came before me. So I am, again, blessed and truly honored to have this award bestowed upon me. I was first introduced to Kappa through Beta Sigma at Delaware State College back in 1976 as a freshman. And so my journey started back then when I saw the Kappas on our campus, and then it really began when I was initiated in 2011. And through that period, I've had a lot of brothers that are Kappas that have been friends of mine and mentors along the way. And I'd like to thank all of them. So I'd like to thank first the brothers of Beta Sigma for introducing me to Kappa. I'd like to also thank past Polemarch brother Doug Harrell for bringing me into the exchequer's position, which I've held for the past 10 years, and as well as brother Bruce Rush, as well as the past Polemarch's brother Darrell Stevens, brother Bobby Hunter, all of which I have worked under in the position as the first assistant keeper of exchequer. It has been an honor to work with each and every one of those brothers. I also like to thank my wife and my family for being supportive of me during this time as I have worked for the chapter. It is sometimes a position that requires me to talk to a lot of people over the phone. I do a lot of things through mail and a lot of emails, and my family has been very supportive through this whole time, and I am truly appreciative of that. I also like to thank Brother Lou Williams, who has been a good mentor to me. When I first came into the bond in 2011, he took myself and my sons, Dwayne Jones, underneath his wing. We went to various different province meetings, and I was introduced to a lot of different brothers along the way, brothers who had actually were exchequers and doing some of the work that I was doing, and that helped me understand my position and understand the different things that I needed to do in order to better the chapter and better myself and make things smoother for other brothers. In addition, I really, truly appreciate all the brothers that harassed me when I first started in my position as assistant exchequer in the back. The long stories and the comments concerning that whether they were financial or not made me laugh. It was intimidating at first when I first started, but over the years I got to understand everything and how things worked out. And I'm happy that today to say that I'm able to actually support the chapter and provide a lot of assistance to brothers, especially our senior brothers who have sometimes difficulty going online and making payments and doing things for their dues. So it has been truly a blessed journey. God has blessed me and has truly continued to keep me on a good path. And Kappa Alpha Psi has been a very, very driving force in my life. And specifically, the Philadelphia Alumni Chapter has been a guiding force and a truly good brotherhood and a thorough bond with everyone that I have worked with over the years. In closing, I would like to thank Polemarch brother Damian S. Jackson, Esquire, for nominating me for this award. I truly appreciate his recognition of my efforts, and I am very thankful for that. Again, truly an honor. 112 recipients before myself. I can't say more. I want to thank each and every one of the brothers for what they've done or for helping me win this award, and I truly appreciate you.